Hello, my name is Matthew Alvarez. Today I'm going to discuss with each of you the topic of inequality and income. Multiple questions will be answered and many subjects will be covered, so buckle up! Article 1. Are you in the middle class? Income tier. It was discovered by reading this article and filling out the calculator that my family and I are part of the middle income tier in our area. The area that was put into this calculator was Hanford, California. In addition, another factor that was utilized in this process was how many people are in my household, which is 4. Comparison to others. When compared to individuals across the United States, it was determined that the percentage of people who are part of the middle class is the exact same, both in Hanford, California and across the United States. 52% of people are a part of the middle class, as seen in the picture above as well. Trends. Many trends were indicated in the distribution of wealth among classes. For instance, education, yearly income, marital status, age, and race were all factors that helped in this distribution. Depending upon this information that was entered, certain trends could be followed in order to form a conclusion, such as the one located to the left in the pie chart. Trends continue. The research results that were given in this assignment did not match up with my current methods of thinking, especially the results regarding the percentage of individuals who are part of the middle social class. I found the percentage to be really shocking, although the wealth distribution was a factor that matched my method of thinking, as seen in the picture to the right. Inductive and deductive research approaches. The researchers of this exercise use inductive and deductive methods in order to form a better understanding of a person's social class. To further elaborate, factors such as age, race, marital status, education, yearly income, and place of residence were each used to determine the type of social class a person was a part of. A conclusion such as this one could be made based on these factors because patterns could be noticed. These patterns allowed not only for theories to be made, but also hypotheses to be tested, which in turn allowed for an individual's social status to be determined. Article 2. Inequality is real. What I learned. The simulation was very educational and allowed for many thoughts to be pondered. One aspect that I learned from this simulation is the statistic of how much wealth is distributed amongst the bottom 90% and the top 10. In addition, the simulation also taught me that education is not always the answer when it comes to the amount of wealth an individual has. As the simulation stated, growth at the very top is not about education, it's about wielding their success to economic power. An image to the right as well demonstrates the previous points that are talked about in this slide. Connections and results. One major connection that could be made based on the simulation is that wealth is not as unevenly distributed as many people believe. In fact, as seen on the previous slide, the top earners in society receive a small amount less than those in the bottom 90%. Another factor that contributes to this idea is the fact that people in power know how to manipulate and get around scenarios in order to make themselves rich. In addition, a common misconception about what makes an individual rich, such as education, pampering, and mobility, have zero to no effect on an individual. Each of the previously listed connections help to form conclusions as well. Accuracy. I do believe that this simulation gave an accurate description of economic policy and potential effects on my life. One of the main reasons why I believe this is because the simulation gave very accurate statistics to each topic it spoke about. The influence that are spoken about throughout the simulation are all ones that could also be applied to my own life. For example, when the simulation speaks about the downward growth of compensation among workers, this is one of the examples that is applicable to my life because I am sadly part of this statistic. Inductive and empirical evidence. An example of inductive reasoning and empirical evidence can be seen in the tax fairness portion of the simulation. For instance, inductive reasoning was demonstrated because data was collected in order to form the theory that people in higher social classes paid less in taxes. Essentially, all this data had to be reviewed and trends like the previously mentioned one was noticed. In addition, this also demonstrates how empirical evidence was utilized to form this conclusion. Facts and a pattern were noticed, which in turn allowed for an overall conclusion to be made on this topic. Deductive reasoning and ideological beliefs. In many ways, the simulation influenced my deductive reasoning and ideological beliefs. For instance, an ideological belief that I held prior to the simulation was that higher education automatically equaled wealth. A deductive approach was quickly applied to this common misconception. This approach was able to be applied due to the simulation's prior facts and theories that it had based on this topic. Another factor that helped to influence my deductive reasoning was the shocking statistic of distribution of wealth. After all this data was carefully analyzed, it was proven that both my hypothesis and ideological belief regarding education and wealth was not supported.